Well, then I guess that brings me to my next question. How then can people accumulate assets while paying attention to a healthy balance of saving and investment to prepare for that cash flow post-retirement?
So here's what we do. First of all, in life, it's important to save, but saving is for a specific issue. Saving is to have an emergency fund, cash available for emergency. Because when you save, most of the saving instruments, savings specifically instruments, don't give a high enough return for the growth that we need. So you want to save enough to take care of you for 3, 6, 12 months. Once you've saved that, that's enough. The rest of your cash, you need to be investing in investments that are going to grow over the long term. So if you're in your 20s, you have 40 years to prepare. If you're in your 30s, you have 30 years. If you're in your 40s, you have 20 years. And if you're in your 50s, you have 10 years. Those are long-term investments that hopefully are going to grow and multiply. The compounding effect is what you're looking for. So the first key is to save for emergencies. But at the same time, now you want to be investing for a higher return over the long term. What will happen is, as you amass those investments, so you're buying and selling land, not just buying and holding for speculation. No, you have a strategy for buying and selling land. You're buying shares in publicly listed companies. You're running your own company. You're putting money into unit trusts. These are great investments, and we're talking about unit trusts that are high-yielding unit trusts. Over the long term, you build up your assets. So after a while, you have a couple thousand shares, you have pieces of land that you're ready to sell, you've bought a few properties that are earning you rent at that point. You're then going to look at your total portfolio and now begin to move the assets into income-earning assets, such as rental properties, government bonds. In East Africa and here in Kenya, we have what we call SACCOs, which are very popular, savings and credit cooperatives, which give quite a good dividend year on year. So you're looking for assets that are actually going to give you a cash flow then, not now, then when you're retiring. So your goal at this point is growth.
One of the detrimental factors to a problematic cash flow post-retirement is debt. So Waithaka, maybe you could share with us how one can deal with that debt before they retire or even post-retirement.
Wow, so you're asking now something I can answer in 3 hours, but I'll try and do it in the next couple of minutes. The problem that we have with debt is we don't understand it and often don't use it for the right reasons. So let me simplify it as much as I can. I know it's not going to cover everything, but I'm going to simplify it. There's good debt and bad debt. Good debt goes towards assets. Assets that will grow in value, will give you a cash flow, will at least maintain your initial investment. Bad debt goes towards consumption. We use it for things that we are using. Things like a car, things like your furniture or your electronics in your house. If you take debt for that, those items never put money back in your pocket. So first of all, let's get that right. Let's make sure we understand what we're using our debt for and we are prioritizing assets. Secondly, we don't understand the benefit of repaying our debt as quickly as possible. Because if we get to the point of retirement and we're still in debt, then we have to work more in order to repay that debt. Or we're going to take a chunk out of our retirement assets and put it into repayment of that debt, and we've lost a huge cash flow element. So what you want to do with debt is to manage it as best as you can, as early as possible, so that you don't find yourself carrying debt into that retirement period. So that is a key factor to it. When you're looking at debt, time is the greatest factor to consider. Repay your loans as quickly as possible.
So I want us to go back to your first answer as regards, planning for retirement as early as one is born. So Do you think that there's such a thing as too little too late when it comes to retirement planning?
I recognize not all of us are going to be as prepared as we want to be when we get to retirement. It's never too late. Listen, retirement doesn't mean that you have to stop working. In fact, no. The issue is, do you want to have to work in order to eat? That's what we're trying to deal with, okay? But it's never too late. The example we always give, and it's simply because their stories are written down, and we need to, in Africa, write down more of our stories, and I'm trying to collect more of them around here. But the story of KFC, and I know you're familiar with Kentucky Fried Chicken, was started by Colonel Sanders, but he was in his 60s when he started that business, and it became a multi-million-dollar business. So even you in your 60s, one of the greatest assets you have is your experience, your networks, all that stuff that you've been doing throughout your lifetime can assist you in this period to generate wealth even later on in life. So it is never too late, but the encouragement is start as early as possible.
Well, since there's no such thing as too little too late, say someone is 5 years to retiring and they have not done anything to plan for their retirement, how do you think they can effectively use this time while they still have an active income to plan for the inevitable retirement?
The first thing is to take control of your personal finances. Can I tell you this? Because we've been doing this for over 12 years here at Centonomy. We've seen this in every single class we've run. Most people don't know where their money goes right now. Here's a quick test for you. You know your big ticket items on your budget. I challenge everyone listening to me right now, for the next 30 days, write down every cent you spend, every cent. Go download your bank report, bank statement, and add up all the bank charges that you have. If you're in a country like Kenya here, we are very popular is mobile money transfers. Add up the cost of each one of those transfers. Add up every receipt that you got. If you give a family member money, write it down. Write down every cent that comes out of your pocket. You will be shocked where your money goes and how much money you didn't know was leaving your pocket. That's the first place, because it will give you awareness. It's called a lifestyle audit. Once you've done a lifestyle audit, then you can begin to make immediate changes. Many people discover extra amounts that can be used towards debt repayment. It's a massive amount. And if you can repay your debts much faster, then you don't enter into retirement with debt. Secondly, you can start investing. I'm telling you, even in a 5-year period, you can put aside quite a significant amount of money. But it starts with that lifestyle audit. You have to sit down with yourself and take control of your money. I challenge everyone listening to do that. Because if you can start finding extra amounts to repay debt, extra amounts for investment, and finding a lifetime as one of those assets, in the evenings, when you go and sit down, are you reading a book that's going to tell you where to invest? Are you entering into a class like the ones that we offer here at Centonomy that are going to help you to reorganize your assets for the wealth that you want? What are you spending your time on? So this is a time for us to take control of our lives and stop waiting for everyone else to sort it out for us. You have to take personal responsibility in solving those problems.
In Africa, help is what we do. That is why we at FNB are relentlessly driven to provide real help to you, the passionate and courageous, the creators and the optimists. These are the entrepreneurs we support, the communities we uplift. It is because of you that real help is what we do. FNB, how can we help you?